using the countdown intro, but here we are. It says we're live. Let me.
I thought you were just commenting because you put the countdown intro in, and then I moved my Word document. I'm like, oh no, we are live.
Good morning. Hi, Eva. How are you? Um, we're doing it today. I just
Yeah,
got my cup of coffee. I don't know why, but last night I slept so hard.
I did too.
I like,
Like once.
yeah, once I fell asleep, I was like, where are we?
Yeah, like luckily I have an everyday alarm of 8 o'clock, and that's what woke me up this morning. And I was like, don't fall back to sleep. Don't do this to Chandra. And
Wait,
so I
eight or
grabbed my
seven?
phone. Huh?
8 or 7?
8.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, don't worry about me. I'm sleeping.
But I was, because I normally have on my phone like a I'm asleep, don't send notifications to me.
Mm-hmm.
But that alarm went through. Luckily, I always have that alarm. And so I just started playing on YouTube on my phone, and then it was like 8:22, and I was like, shit, I better get out of bed.
I do have that, and then I have certain people who can still contact me even when I'm in sleep mode.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna change it to where you can still contact me while I'm in sleep mode, because like I know it would be important on a Saturday when you do, and any other time it's important.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like I always assume. Well, it does now. I think for a lot of people, it'll show before you send a text message that someone has like sleep mode on.
Yeah, like do not disturb or
Mm-hmm.
driving or whatever. And then that way you can choose yourself. Like you gotta like send it 3 times or something,
Mm-hmm.
and then it will go through. So
I try not to be one of those people because I know how I am. But I mean, like my phone's on silent, and ooh, ooh. I no, we talked about this already. Don't mind me. But yeah, my phone's on silent. It's a good thing we have that functionality in the watch to like find the
Mhm.
phone because I can't. You remember how you used to like just be like, "Hey, somebody call my phone." Now
The
we're just
one
like,
thing I hate about technology that I realize we do is that, like, remember when with our phones we like, oh wait, is my phone vibrating? And it was in your back pocket and it wasn't. There was no notification or whatever. Now it's, oh, is my watch vibrating? No, you just think you're popular. Like if like there's this phantom vibration or ring or whatever, like just constantly of like thinking there's something going on, and it's not. We're not as popular as we think we are.
for me, it's always when I do that, my watch is like, "I'm at 10% battery. Can you plug me in now?" I'm like, "No, I need you to track stuff."
I need these moments I stand, or like the fact that I'm about to do a few like push-ups to count
I
towards my exercise.
I do need that.
Hold on, I gotta let the dogs in real quick.
Eva, gotta love a quiet morning. Ugh, you had exactly 17 minutes. 17 minutes to start the day. My coffee's still too hot. Also, Dabby's just been walking around this morning screaming. He's healthy, he's fine. He just wishes to be perceived today. So,
Whoops, knocked over my mic.
my phone isn't even off silent. I don't use vibrate. That's how sure I am that no one is messaging and calling.
Nice. Ugh.
See, Dobby, you are loved. Your public is asking about you.
Always.
But he you'll probably hear him. It's been so loud. He's just been walking around just yodeling and screaming. Like I'll
Let
usually
me
say
sing you the song of my people.
literally, but it's like half the time he'll just be like talking and then, "Hi cat, how are you?" Sprinting on my streams. I have you guys playing. Oh, thank you.
Aw.
Stream hoppers unite.
Thank you, dear. Appreciate it, the love. I'll even open up and have you on another tab right now.
And it's ow, 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 claws. No, no, sir. He's also shedding really bad.
Oh my god, so are my dogs right now. I usually brush them outside and it looks like there was a cat fight, which even though I'm doing dogs, but with all the hair, it looks like there was a cat fight. And I ended up brushing them inside because it's cold. And I didn't want to go outside, and it was like late at night too.
Whoops.
And I ended up having a vacuum and lint roll. It was like a continuous thing.
You scratched me, Dobby. Oh, I think it might be on Twitch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just on, and I was like, wait a second. So now I'm jumping over to Twitch. Yep. Oh, wait. Actually, I need to jump over to Twitch on my Safari because my computer doesn't realize I'm the same person when I change which browser I use. Like, the browsers don't talk to each other whatsoever. They're like, no, you're a totally new person, even though it's the same IP address. Please sign in.
I just jumped over and said hi over there.
Yep. I'm about to do the same.
Okay. Okay.
So we do have to let everybody know, we're only doing one prompt today. Yeah. Today's my son's birthday. Spencer is 5 now. And but we celebrated it yesterday because he's 5 and he's just cool with celebration. Because the only weekend that worked for my daughter to have a slumber party for her birthday was this weekend versus next weekend, which would be close to her birthday. So, yeah, I'm going to be setting up and like blowing up like 45. Oh no, it's going to be more than 45. It's going to be 60 balloons by the end of the day.
Ooh.
So we got light up balloons, but I want to do those like after dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're going to be busy.
Yeah, things are happening.
And happy birthday, Spencer.
Yeah. Hey, Spencer. Chandra said happy birthday. He didn't say anything. He just put the milk back in his mouth and kept drinking.
It's a little early for that.
I actually had to wake him up. Usually he comes to my room at like 7:30. Nah, this boy was like in his bed. And I'm like, Spencer, time to wake up. And he was like, all right. He's excited. He got his Spider-Man costume.
Ooh, I remember he was asking about that before.
Yes. And so as you see, we still have decorations. There's a little Spider-Man thing in the dining room behind me. And then also on the ceiling, little Spider-Man stuff. Because I was like, you know what? Like, just because we're doing a lot of decoration for Zoe's birthday doesn't mean we can't for him. So I decorated the dining room. And he wore that Spider-Man costume all day yesterday. What?
Aww, Isaac got.
Oh, and now he's asking me to put the Spider-Man costume back on him. All right, bring it over, buddy. But yeah, I made a post on my personal Facebook about it because I realized I haven't posted on there in a long time. I'm more active on my author platforms than I am on my real one. But oh, by the way, it's padded, so it looks like he has muscles.
Oh, that's so funny.
But what's even I ended up posting on my personal, and I made the comment, and I realized it's probably going to be true. But I said Spencer is probably going to wear this costume like every day, if not on Halloween. Which is funny because I'm not sure if y'all remember, but he has a fireman costume that he just had to have.
That he wore for like
a while.
Yeah.
And
Eva, I don't. How long can posts be on Ko-fi? There's not a time limit. Unless you take them down, they stay up there.
Yeah, they do. Though you do have to scroll for the older ones.
Yeah.
Like, there's no.
But you can add tags to them, so you could filter by the tags too.
Yeah, that's true. There you go. Come on. You gotta lean your head forward. I can only lean so far. Alright, pull it down. There you go.
You drink a really hot drink and you like use your lip to see if it's gonna scald you so that you don't scald your taste buds.
And then you scald your lip instead.
Yep.
This year he's Scooby.
Doll. I need to figure out what I'm gonna be for Halloween and start to get my decorations out.
I'm waiting. So luckily we are moving next year. So I think maybe if I work out really hard, and even if I don't care. But I'm gonna finally fulfill my dream and dress up as Lara Croft.
Do it.
I want to do it, but that will be like next year, not this year, because it's too cold. And I even if I did like the winter gear Lara Croft, which is pretty much just like leggings with holsters on the side of the legs and stuff like that, like, and then it's just not enough for the cold. I'm just saying.
Oh, hi Barrett. Thank you for coming by. Oh, yeah. I hope you're feeling better. I saw your post on Facebook and just all the hugs. That did a major suck. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Hey,
like
Joanne.
Was thinking about posting rambles on Ko-fi like a blog. Is that on? Yes, you can absolutely do that, Eva. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Please do share a link if you decide to do so.
On one of these sprints. Yes, sweetie.
Morning, Joanna. How are you? Welcome, welcome. We're doing a sprint today. As Natalie said, she's got some party decorations to put up. She's going to be spending the day just spewing hot air.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. She's going to be blowing up balloons.
Yes.
Describe
but
it.
Don't worry. I got plenty of air to use.
So I also, this is just a general shout out to Natalie for being the best writing buddy ever and keeping me from sending crazy emails to my professor.
Yes, apparently my writing skills are not just in like fiction.
Yeah,
I can also BS really well in a, which it means be a professional when you don't want to be.
She was like, "What are we going for here?" And I was like, "Here's the vibe." So, thank you for that. Filtering my unmitigated chaos.
Yep. Making sure we don't burn bridges before we need to.
Right, exactly.
Hey, Spencer, how old are you? 5, yeah. Your ears are all smushed down. I'm sorry, buddy. We need to fix this. All right. He has his moments, just like Dobby.
Right? Oh my God.
Oh, and he even said, he's like, I'm Spider-Man. I'm like, okay. I'm like, no, I went, okay, Spencer. And he went, no, Spider-Man. I was like, gotcha, Spider-Man.
Hi, Spider-Man. What?
Don't let Chandra burn bridges.
I was ready.
After grades are finalized, then you can totally lay into the person.
I was ready. I was like, hey, I'm about to do something dumb.
She at least recognized it and reached out. It's not like we were co-working and I'm like, hey, what are you working on? And then she tells me and I'm like, oh, honey, can I help you? No. She reached out and then was like, I need help. So recognizing it is the first step.
I got it.
Okay, you got it. Sorry.
So, what is our prompt for today?
Oh, so the prompt, which I did type, is, don't worry, I also copied it. I know it says prompt number 1, but it's the only prompt. I just didn't feel like changing the number because then I have to change it back in future episodes. All right.
If you want to throw that in the chat. Also, if you're in the chat, will you, if you're doing Preptober, whether or not you're doing Nano, I feel like you can still do Preptober. So if you're doing Preptober, what are you working on?
Oh, yes.
Natalie, are you doing Preptober? And I'm sure if you are, it will be modified. So
I mean, I guess really my main goal is these flashes. That's it. Yeah.
I do Preptober. I don't know how that's going to go because I have school coming back in a week.
You went robotic, dear. I don't know if it's just on my end.
No, my Wi-Fi signal just plummeted for no reason.
No. All right, what are we doing, Spider-Man?
Are we coming back?
Yes, you are back and clear.
Okay. So yeah, I decided to work on my project called I'm calling it Mother Mercy. I think that's what it's going to be. And it is a social justice hit woman.
Oh, wait, is this the one where you were doing the research of a procedure over the years? Like hundreds of years?
Oh, no, that's a different one. So I'm not done with the research for that. I still have stuff to like read for it, but I have all the books that I need, I think. And I have it outlined. It's just a matter of that one is a rewrite. But for Preptober, I'm gonna do all the prep for Mother Mercy, and then I'll have to decide which project I'm ready to work on for Nano, which is a whole different ball game. I think with the other project, that's for my secret series. I could jump right into that for Nano, but Mother Mercy has been itching my brain. So Kat is focusing on trying to post to social consistently, having writing updates to share in those social posts. No Nano, but Preptober for my life, maybe. I like that.
Hey, that's me. I've been planning out this next week because I did accomplish a goal. I had this nonfiction book called Collapse, which is like the history of civilizations collapsing and how they just like disappear and what led to that, based what we could find. And then also using that to even evaluate our own potential collapse as a world, not as like specific nations, but just humankind. And I found it interesting. It was like 22 hours book. And I'm just like in audiobook and I'm listening at 2 times speed and it still took me months. And finally I just like buckled down and I was like, I have to get this done. And yesterday I had an hour and 18 minutes left of 2 times speed. That was the 2 times speed still. Hour and 18 minutes left. And I'm like putting together a train set for this one on top of, oh, you wanted it. Okay, sorry. On top of getting work done. Like I'm in the middle of doing a train set and I'm talking to a friend who had my work computer. Luckily the Wi-Fi worked in the basement. And I'm like talking to her about numbers and spreadsheets and everything. And it was just, I was like, hey, at least I'm still working.
Yeah.
And then she apologized to me. She's like, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm like, I'm doing something that technically I shouldn't be doing during work hours. Okay. You're fine.
That's funny. You know, I listen to audiobooks depending on what I'm doing. If it's like, you know, if I have somebody that I'm just, you know, I don't have to like verbally talk to them, but I'm like, you know, whatever. I'll have stuff on in the background. I don't think it's any different than like listening to the radio while you work.
Yeah. And I'll do that. And I think what my issue was is that I was putting together a train set for Spencer while I was on like a call. Luckily, her and I are really informal with each other, like we're co-workers. And we've admitted, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't either. Okay, that means we at least have a starting point and we can go from here. Like, we are completely honest with you. Stop messing with the mic.
He said ASMR.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was one other thing that I wanted to say. I am really close, and I'm thinking about upping my goal and going for 100 books this year.
You were just like worried. Please stop messing with the mic. People hear that every time you touch it. Okay. You were just questioning whether you can meet your goal and everything. You're like, oh my god, it's gonna be tight. I'm gonna be pushing myself. Now you're like, hey, let's raise it. Go ahead.
I know. I know. I've been looking at it because I'm at 64 books right now,
Oh
and my goal was 75.
And you're thinking 100.
Mm-hmm.
Bless you, dear. And wow.
I mean, when I had a job, I don't think audiobooks were easily accessible, but the job allowed me to listen to music, so I could have. That job is now work from home, though. Call it a bonus goal. Don't change original goal. I like that, Kat. That's a good call.
Yes. Oh, smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I dream. I have the life happens goal, the realistic goal, and then the dream goal. That's the way I've always done my goals.
Yeah.
When it comes to like a quantity thing.
I think that's a good call. I've just been on a roll and I've been rereading a series. Well, I had this debate with my boyfriend about whether or not it counted as finishing a whole series if there were like half books. You know how they do like, oh, this one's in between these two, even if it like they wrote it and then they come back and they add the little novellas in between.
It still counts as a book, in my opinion.
Well, and that's what he said, and he was like, no, you, in order to say you read the series, you have to read all the littles in between. And I was like,
oh yeah, okay, if you want to count the series, yeah, read all the novellas. That would be like, if you're reading the Twilight series, I feel like you need to read the life and
The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner, which is arguably the best book in the whole.
Yeah. Agreed.
I love that.
Yes. But that's the deal, is you would have to read that to count as the series.
And the reason that's important is because not only did I want to read, like, so my goal is 75. I'd like to read 100. And then I'd broken it down into different parts. So I'm trying to like read stuff that I don't normally read just to get a little bit more variety under my belt. But I wanted to read 5 Westerns, which I haven't read any yet. 5 mysteries, I've got 4 down. 5 YA books, 5 biographies, 5 craft books. I'm trying to do Russian lit. I don't think that's going to happen. Historical fiction. These are just the ones that I haven't finished. Horror, paranormal, science fiction, suspense, gay and lesbian, authortube writers, comedy, memoirs. Did I put that? Oh, I didn't.
Are you allowing things to like?
Yes, there's crossover.
Okay.
And 5 series. So the series is where I'm like, okay, how am I quantifying series? So far I finished 1 series. But now one of the series that I'm like half done with, I can't find some of the books anywhere. And I'm like they're not on Audible. They're not available from the library.
Good God. Hey, I would suggest if you're trying to do AuthorTube and the LGBTQ, I just struggle. I mix up the letters. That's why I struggle.
I have to go through and think like what each one stands for in order to get it.
Yeah.
Right.
And for me personally, I just remember the beat. That one's easy. But the Stanford Art by Kroyami.
Okay.
She that's a good one. And it even challenged me on a level because I'm so used to reading guys that are like the stigma of masculine. like not sensitive and stuff. And I reading a male character that was sensitive, it challenged my own perception, because at first I was like, no, why would he do that? And then I'm like, that's his character, Natalie. Stop trying to put your own mindset of how a man should be in a story. Like, he is sensitive. It's okay. So, but that was a good one that I read this year. And it's available on Kindle as well. Which actually, I gotta find out. I gotta do some research, because Christmas is coming up, and people are asking, like families asking me for my Christmas list, and I have like Kindle Vila episodes that I started reading because I had a whole bunch of free credits, but now I ran out of credits. But I don't want to spend the money myself, but it's one of those things where I would totally accept Christmas gift for it, but I don't know if an Amazon gift card would cross that. So I got some research to do.
Yeah. Do share, though. Let's see. I didn't read that, but I read the Twilight series. Zero interest to reread, continue reading it, though. So I was done reading the series back in 2007, 2005, long time ago either way. That was the first series that I read, and some of the largest books that I read. So I always, and I know I go on this tangent every time Twilight comes out, but I really appreciate that series because it did get me into reading fiction. But The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner, honestly, if I were to tell someone nothing to do with Twilight or anything like that, if I were just to say, hey, read this is like a novella, just check this out, yes, it wouldn't make as much sense because you wouldn't have the context of the Cullens around it, but it's still a really good story. I think the world building and the character development are so much better in that book than in the others.
Yeah.
And it's more like just like a YA book that's a tragedy, which I feel like you don't really get in YA, which is why it's so good. And this is a good point, and let me ask about that. I know some people.
Oh, QIA plus.
Oh, what does the I stand for?
I don't know, because A is asexual, right?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, something I just had a thought of when we were talking about reading a series. You can say you read the series even if you didn't read the novellas. And then, because normally if you say, oh, I read the series and the short stories with it or something like that, normally people say that. But I also had a thought of, in the Brandon Sanderson guest speaker for short stories, she said, she was like, it's like the Olympics. Like, you can watch the opening ceremony, every single event, all the way to the closing ceremony. You watch the Olympics. Or your friend who did that sends you a clip of the gymnast doing the flippy stuff on the floor. And the 2-minute video starts when she steps on the floor and ends when she steps off the floor. You also watch the Olympics. And I was like, you know what? That's a good point. You read the series, whether you started to read the series, which most people start that saying, I started to read the series, or I read the series but couldn't finish, or something like that. Or whether you say, I read the series, still got the short stories to read, or I didn't know there were short stories, or something like that. Like, you can still say it. And if more questions are asked, fine, explain it. But it was just a thought I had, because especially with Eva's comment about how some people gatekeep of like, oh, you didn't read the series, or like people saying you're not a Star Wars fan because you don't know every single detail, or Harry Potter because you don't know every single. It's exhausting.
Well, the reason we had a debate about it and we compared it to one of his hobbies versus like mine, and how I wanted to like categorize it. And if we were going by just like reading the primary series, I've already read the primary series, but now I'm rereading it with the novellas in the correct order. And
which is fine.
Yeah, it does change the story. But that's how I've decided to do it after he said that, or after we talked about it the way that he described it. I was like,
that's one thing. On your books that you're reading, are you counting rereads?
Yes. I like rereads. Yeah. And especially since there's some books that I regularly reread. We Have Always Lived in the Castle is one of my favorites, and I reread that every so often. I actually have a special bookshelf. Like, I count them with all the rest of my books, but then I have a bookshelf where I count just books that I've reread. And let me see. I've got quite a few. I go back to, and I mean, I think that's why I do keep a lot of my books too, because I do go back and reread specific ones when, things come up in conversation or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I really liked that one. I'm going to go back and read it again. But the Will Trent series is the one that I'm rereading right now. And I just finished book 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Parasol Protectorate, which is steampunk. If you've never read steampunk before,
ooh,
a 10 out of 10 would recommend. The first book is called Soulless. It's a super fun read. Far from the Madding Crowd, I've read a couple of times. We've Always Lived in the Castle. I think I've read that. How many times have I read that? I've read it twice. I feel like I read it more than that. And then Sunshine. I've read that one 3 times. It's one of my favorites. And I need to add Lolita to that list because I've also read that, I think, 3 or 4 times. Every once in a while, though, I just have to go back and reread it because it's just so good.
That's me with certain movies. Yeah.
Ooh, and someone said the other day how long the 2005 Pride and Prejudice has been out, because that's one of the movies that I will go back and just watch again and again and again. And,
question: did they say how long has the 2005 Pride and Prejudice been out, or did they say that Pride and Prejudice with certain actors they didn't know the year?
Is it not from 2005?
No. You said people ask how long has the 2005 been out, and I'm like, do the math of this year minus 2005.
No. It was I think it's been 18 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, stop, go away.
Oh my god, it kills me. Like, every single time that's like, these songs from the 90s turned 30, and I'm like, the 90s was 10 years ago. Stop saying that.
Why are you lying?
Yeah. What?
Okay, we should really do this prompt.
Okay, yes.
Get it going, because I know you got... Was it the tea time? I forgot to pin that. Let me go pin that. Yeah, tea time. Okay, I pinned it. I'm going to share that prompt.
Yes.
17 years ago, I was married in 2005.
Wow. That's an easy way to remember it. By the way.
Congratulations. And also, holy cow.
Yeah. Source for terms of their definitions. Because I am 100% for people educating themselves. But I also believe that you knowing someone who's an LGBTQ IA plus doesn't mean they have to inform you on the entire culture. Like, you should be able to do some of your own research. Like,
that is true. I think it also I think there's a couple things. Like, you can ask someone how they're not comfortable. You can ask someone how they would like to be referred to.
Yes.
But they also can't. They're not a spokesperson for the community as a whole.
Yeah.
So.
Like, that, it ends there. I always ask people, be like, oh, how should I refer to you? I think that should be a phrase that is as accepted, as common as, hi, how are you doing? Like, that phrase should work. Yeah. It should be a common thing. But anything past, what should I refer to you as? It's no. You just get to know the person if you want to talk more and find out if they're comfortable.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know if this is the right thing to do or not, but especially in a business setting, when I don't know first of all, I think gendering names just really doesn't make sense. But to when I don't know what someone's pronouns are, just to reference them as they, them.
Yeah. It's funny though. I've gotten to the point, I'm actually kind of proud of myself for this. But even though I know someone's preferred pronouns, and when I'm hesitant, I feel like this safe zone is they, them.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm in the middle of speaking, and it's like my default now is to say they, them when I find myself accidentally going one way or the other, maybe the wrong way or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm glad that that's become my default. And everything, because it's it means I'm getting better at not censoring, regulating. I don't know the right word, but like
you've reset the norm.
Yes, and everything. Because the thing is, like the saying, when they say like, "Oh, hey, grandma grew up in a different time. It's okay," or something like that. I'm like, "Oh, was she asleep for 40 years in a coma or something?" Mm-hmm. Like, she was in the same world of this evolution. But to me, that is what we have to do as a society. Is like, you can't pretend like you're in a coma and have an excuse and everything. For it, you have to constantly counter your previous mindset of what you were born with.
Well, and I think that challenging your way of thinking and being inclusive, I don't know, it's like a showing consideration. Like if someone tells you, "Hey, I just found out that I'm allergic to X."
Yeah.
When they're coming over, you make an effort to find out what they can and can't have. And then
every single time my daughter has friends over, I'm asking the parents, I'm like, "Are they allergic to anything?" You know?
Mm-hmm. And you're just staying informed and making space for them as they are. You can't be like, "Oh, you're allergic to shellfish? Have it anyway." Like, stop it. So for the prompt, you can use as many. We use all of them. Natalie will change the word in that.
Like, I'll make it past tense to fit my story, or plural, or as long as I have the root word, I'm usually happy with it. Whereas Chandra is a purist and does not change the word from the way it is given. As well as Chandra also likes to use the prompt as words in her, at the prompt as it is in the story as well.
Yeah. So we say all that to say, you decide what you would like to do, how it is, how the prompt can serve you, and how you enjoy writing it. If this is your first time doing the prompt, then honestly, just setting a theme around it. And if you use a word, oh, you're good.
You're fine, Duran.
I don't know how much of what we were saying about the way that we use the prompt you heard, but we were just talking through that. But basically, bottom line, use the prompt however it serves you. Include as many words as you can. If you get 10, go
in 30 minutes. Like, it's okay if you don't get all of them. I haven't gotten all of them. Sometimes I think I got all of them. Then, like, we're reading it, I go, "Oh, crap, I forgot this word."
Yeah. So
that's happened a few times.
The bottom line is the prompt should be inspiring you and there to support you and help you to get writing. And as long as it does that, it's a win, is how we look at it.
I love how we inadvertently created a scenario about pronouns and comparing it to allergies. Because, like, Eva's stance point here is, but if they gave if they gave a child shellfish and found out later that they were allergic, there are a few sorts of people that would refuse the blame for irresponsibility. I've always served shellfish. And that to me is just like the epitome of the entire pronoun to me, it shouldn't even be a discussion, but the discussion that people have on it. And it's like, you're gonna take part. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this is
You're
like the
the
best.
You're right.
This is the best like scenario ever. Like I love that we just kind of stumbled upon this because I haven't heard anybody say this scenario when in regards to pronouns.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, you're right. Those people will always be like, "Well, that's what I've always done," and it's like, well, Brenda, your seafood salad is great for people who can eat seafood salad. So
No worries, dear.
at least put a label on it. Thank you.
Yeah. I made the mistake. I had a friend who was vegetarian and we had lasagna and I didn't realize whatever it was. I was like 15 or something maybe. But there was meat in the lasagna and she ate it and she got sick. And I felt so bad. But I mean, I felt bad. Like
that does happen. And you said you were sorry and you were like, you know.
I felt really bad because it's not just like her getting sick, but it's kind of like if somebody is abstaining from alcohol and they've done it for years and then you accidentally serve them alcohol, they're like they it's almost like they got to say, yeah, I've abstained from alcohol for 10 years except last week I had this one sip or something because they thought they gave me the glass of water, but they actually gave me the glass of vodka or something like that. Like, it just throws up the entire streak, and I feel bad.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's also the, like, you know, people not doing it on purpose and,
yeah.
You know,
I mean, it really comes down to if you're going to show remorse, you know, and everything, and correct yourself.
Yes. And be like, hey, you know, check in with me if I make a mistake because I want to do better, and being open to that versus people being like defensive when they find out that they did something that they shouldn't have done.
Yeah. I feel like this allergy conversation totally trumps the argument of why do I have to participate in your perception? And I feel like the allergy conversation is exactly trumps that.
Brenda, 100%. We know. That's why we're calling you out so you can change. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, also, this is a good point. Alcohol, you'd make sure you announced it. It'd be a 21 plus event, so they'd be on the lookout. That's true.
Very true.
That is true. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We're about to start our sprint. We've just been on a tangent here because we can.
Yeah, and we're only doing one prompt, so it's like we're trying to make it extra special.
Do people say, hey, we're having meat dishes by default? Nope. Just, hey, we have vegetarian and vegan options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was just me, like my friend it was a summer thing, and I will later, yes. This was just a summer thing, and it was a summer camp type thing, but we didn't stay over. And so her and I, over our lunch break, I was like, hey, come over to my house for lunch. And she did. And we were having lasagna for lunch. And I was like, yeah, come on, eat with us and stuff. And she did. And I felt so bad.
Tangents are a nice wake up some days.
Yes.
To be honest.
100%. They're better than any alarm.
BT Dubs, Laura has new timers out.
And it looks glorious. God, I love that color palette.
Me too. These are like my colors.
Oh my gosh. Oh, hey, for the month of October, I know we didn't do it for this one, but do you want to change Flash Fiction Live color scheme?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my God, we're doing it.
I'm excited. Our isms exist everywhere. We'll always make mistakes. It's owning them and that inspires change as we move forward.
Yes, 100%.
I love that. Y'all, I just feel really wholesome today, and this makes this conversation.
I know. This is when you know you're in the right group of people. Not that we all agree with each other, but we agree, but we're also bringing arguments outside and talking about it without heated discussion or anything. And that's what I love, is when we can talk about both sides of the argument
Mhm.
And no their arguments and no hours and stuff, but just do it in a healthy manner without anyone getting heated.
Progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
Okie doke, y'all. With that,
We're gonna start.
sprint number only. And we will begin. Don't forget to go like Laura's timers and check out the new Spooky Vibes one.
Also, while we're doing this sprint, Cat Leo is sprinting over on Twitch.
Yes, so remind me to throw up a link there since we're just doing one. Remind me to throw a link over there on Twitch to go to Cat Sprints if you need more Preptober sprints.
Yes, because she is prepping.
Yep.
All right.
Okie doke. Here we go in 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so also I was noticing in the chat and saw the celebration coming up, and that's very exciting.
Go cat, go cat. So it took me forever to get to where I am. Like, of course, I was distracted in chat and everything because it was more intriguing than what I have. And I've only got 5 words.
Oh no!
Yeah, I only got 5 words. I only wrote, hold on. Like, I ended up getting my son food, making sure my daughter was awake, feeding the dogs, and then I'm sat here and I started writing, and I'm kind of like pulling it together, and I got 221 words. And I mean, one of them I already know. I'm hinting at one of them. I just need wing, trillion, axis, and cone. Especially because the setting that I'm going with.
So I misunderstood what you said, and I thought you meant you'd only written 5 words.
Oh, no. I've only used 5 of the 10 words.
Dobby.
Otherwise, this would be a very, very, very quick.
I was like, oh no.
And then, like, you would just read the words and be like, Natalie, I need more, as the norm. But, like, it's like, I normally say I need more, but, like, I seriously need more. I can't critique this.
I like what you did with these 5 words.
You know, I would switch word number 3 and number 5. I think it's stronger.
That's hilarious.
Okay.
I wrote 692 words.
Show off.
Ow, 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 Dobby, pause. Sir, no. No, sir. I need to write more.
Hey, were you going to
feel like I have started something that I cannot finish.
Oh, boy.
There's a lot of world building that happened so fast. I like the story.
I feel like my story could be something. I just don't know what it could be. Because I still don't even know the twist. Like, there's a little bit of a twist, but at the same time, there's not. Mm-hmm. Yes, sweetie, what do you need?
Can I have some coffee? I feel like
you are not having coffee.
Why?
You're gonna be 12, kid. Like, I know Dad lets you have it once in a while, but didn't you have it like just yesterday?
No, actually.
The day before yesterday?
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah.
I want some because like today, I know I'm gonna be doing it all.
No. Giving yourself, I could go through the science of this. Giving yourself caffeine right now is going to boost your levels up, and there's chemicals in your body that help you awake naturally, and you're kind of like not allowing them to do their job. So they're going to do their job a little bit later, but you're going to crash because of the influx of energy before you even have a chance to utilize it properly. I say I could do it scientifically, and I'm flumbering over my words, but my point is that you're going to crash. And if you went to bed early last night, did you fall asleep quickly?
I fell asleep like in like 20 minutes.
Yeah. And then you woke up at a normal time this morning.
I did.
Yeah. You'll be able to stay awake tonight with your friends. I highly recommend not having caffeine if you want to stay awake tonight. Just highly recommend it. All right. Also, you had it just 2 days ago. This is not an every other day thing. There should not be a pattern to you having coffee.
Why do I feel very called out by this?
You're an adult. You can have coffee. My 12-year-old cannot have coffee on a regular basis.
I'm not 12 yet.
Yeah, you're not 12 yet, but you're not helping your case by saying you're not 12 yet. Like, if I say my 12-year-old can't have, that means my 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Why am I slowing down? Because, like, I can't count backwards. Okay. My point is, no. In short, the answer is no.
That was, I think I woke up enough to have coffee now. With how long I was standing there.
Go downstairs. You know what my daughter just did? She goes, I think I'm old enough to have coffee now for how long I was standing here. I was like,
Ma'am.
I mean,
First of all,
I taught her that.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, no, she's definitely got mine and Alex's sense of humor.
She's out here just like stirring the pot.
Like I'm not even mad. Like, bravo, kid. You gotta.
That's so funny.
So, either way. All right. Let's start good, and let me read yours first.
Okay.
All right. Here is Chandra's story. By the way, how many characters do we have? Like that speak?
Just one.
Just one. Oh, it's a they said. All right. Sorry, I started scrolling through. All right. Okay. The Badlands were calling. It wasn't the interminable ages. Interminable, thank you. Ages that had passed since she had been. Sorry, hit my mic. That she had been there, or the ages since she had tasted flesh, but a longing for freedom of the hunt. Most of the meat she had lately was a strange mauve color, with a gray shell that looked positively revolting. Most of the time, it was so far gone that even the winged creatures that laid their larvae on it had deserted it. What? I'm reading. What? Okay. Throw them downstairs. Okay. She came down the stone steps to rest the prison to find the rest of the prison empty. The guards had gone. They were following the trillion other humans to the sanctuary. Everyone knew it was best to reach the shielded city before the allotted time. It only happened once every century. The king was calling. His children would come. The horde would descend on the world. The vampire's horde. So it came to be that my cell was unattended. It was too bad. The call always brought with it extra strength. Now that I had the power, there was no one there to overcome, and I was hungry, nearly starving. They had been so proud to catch me. They practically gloated. My tiara was displayed at the entrance of the castle, strands of my black hair still tangled in the gems where they had ripped the crown from my head. "We caught the vampire princess," they said. It was foolish for them to brag. As much as I wanted to return to the Badlands, as much as I must heed my father's call, there was something I had to do before I returned to my home, to my true home. I had to find those responsible for my imprisonment. They had to be punished for the atrocities committed against my person. It wasn't just the humans either. There was other races who had lent themselves to the cause. They sought to destroy my father. They wanted to break his heart. And though the humans who'd had a hand in my capture were long since dead, they had descendants. They were also those who paid to damage me, who came to see the spectacle of my capture, who paraded me before the races as a trophy. My father would not avenge me. It was not his place. I knew he had to be waiting for the right time. Perhaps they thought him weak for his actions, but his power was the axis around which all races built their structure. There was an assumption that his power would keep the world in balance. They did not know the true extent of his ability. They did not understand. When I was a child, I used to beg him to come to me, to save me from my captors. I did not know that this was the price of the transfer of power. This was the time. He was waiting to call me, waiting till I was ready. He could take his place as an elder, and I would take the throne as queen. He had ruled for 1,000 years, and he was growing weary of the task of holding the earth in sway. I could scent them, the ones who had wronged me. There is a thing they do not know about us, or that they do not understand. Their crimes against us leave traces only we can see. A smell of death. It lingers like pine sap, a cone shot out in the dark, leaving an ethereal path around the world, across the land leading to them. They stretch out for me, thick as strands of spiderweb, so that all earth around me is blue with their light. I followed the guiding light to the first place I find, the closest strand. The rest of the land is barren, but I see the dwelling up on the marsh. I enter. The attendant looks up. The attendants look up. I have interrupted tea time in an English inn. I had not realized where they kept me imprisoned. You, sir, I say as I point to the man sitting near the back door. His eyes go wide. Someone lifts a gun to point it at me. It does not matter. Ooh, I like her power, like her strength, her like every single word was definitely like in charge. Even though she's talking about being imprisoned, it's like I got this. Like no problem at all. What is this random text message? Hold on. Okay. Cool. So I definitely got her power with that. Okay. My mouse just died apparently. The best imagery that I got was the strange mauve colored with gray shell that looked positively revolting, the meat and stuff like that. Like I love that you use mauve that way. I thought it was perfect. Oh my god, my kids, I swear. I told them I was gonna be quick. What?
I didn't remember. Second, did I take a shower last night? I forgot.
I don't know.
I want eggs.
You want eggs? Talk to Zoe.
I want eggs.
So
Okay.
I could write at the very least I could write a novella around this.
You can cook eggs separately. Okay, sorry, what?
At the very least, I think I could write a novella around this.
Oh, 100%. Because the thing is, what you following the path of like her going to each person and have it being a different thing, like a different place. And I really like that how you worked with this prompt. You have it set where like of everything happening before she enters. And then, because whereas mine was set there, and I kind of like your way a little bit better of leading up to it. I thought it was very well done. And actually, it's funny because my daughter was asking me, she's like, "Oh, are you and Chandra doing horror stories?" I was like, "No, but we're kind of, I guess, leaning towards it." And then I read yours, and I'm like, "Yeah." But I will say, if anybody has Apple Music or even just looking up on YouTube, if you're going for like medieval kind of haunted stories, a good band is called Nox Arcana, like Nox space Arcana. I have they have so many music, and it seriously sounds straight up like Halloween type stuff, but like medieval approach.
I am I'm downloading a song right now so that I can check it out. I would also recommend, and this is a seasonal artist, not really seasonal. Peter Gundry.
Mm-hmm. How do you
He
spell the
started
last name?
Gundry.
Okay.
He started on YouTube actually years ago. I've been listening to him for a long time. But his music is all just really ethereal, and they're longer pieces.
Yeah.
But love the music. Especially The Witching Hour is one of his albums from 2016. The White Witch and The Craft are two of my favorites. And definitely spooky season music. So 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Music really does help. 100%.
It does.
But yeah, I feel like with this story, your story, it's definitely it needs to be expanded upon. And I kind of, what I think would be really cool is as she's searching for the people, she has flashes of how she was captured. Because at first I thought she was captured for a little bit, but now I'm realizing she was captured like as a young vampire. And she grew up in imprisonment and stuff, but you could have flashes of like life before imprisonment, then now life while imprisoned, and like as she's going to see the descendants, she like smells the air and like has a memory flash of like the person who would poke holes in the wall to let sunlight through or something like that. And like their laughter and everything. So like things
this could be a good Kindle Vella story.
Oh, 100%.
Because it's already set up to be episodic.
Very much so.
Which could be a fun thing to write. Also, it doesn't say how many strands there are, so I could really write just forever.
Yeah, 100%.
And of course, there's flashbacks.
Yeah, and then what if? But then there would be a turning point of like, what if she spares someone's life, and what would make her want to spare someone's life as a descendant, you know?
Or different extents of where like sometimes like maybe she wipes out some lineages and not others, and what are the other races that were involved in this?
Yes, that was my thing. I'm thinking I was like werewolves, fairies, shapeshifters, witches, like a whole bunch of setup. Like this world could be very much expanded upon.
This world could also, oh gosh, I've got stuff I've got to tell you about now. Let me read your story before I get carried away.
The only thing I have to say is that the name is Mirage. But it's spelled like Mirage, but instead of the I, it's an O.
Where did I do that?
No, that's for me. For my story.
Oh, Mirage.
Yeah. That's the pronunciation. I don't know if I spelled it correctly, but I was like Mirage, like with an O. So
I would be curious about this because there's another word, moorage, which is where a ship is moored.
Which is funny because my computer was like, this word doesn't exist, but that is actually because I did one O instead of two.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Very cool. Okay, here we go. Scrolling back too far. The lady removes her cloak, revealing a mauve dress, in the entryway of the inn. In the corner was a pale woman, her skin very noticeable even in the shadows. The mauve dress gal joined her pale companion, but sat on the opposite side of her. Have you been waiting long, Mirage? Mauve dress asked. Mirage flashed a pearl smile that made the woman sit on ease, despite them knowing each other since she was a little girl. Not long, Elsie, Mirage said.
Elise,
sorry. I have an Elsie in one of my stories, sorry.
It's fine. Yeah, I probably spelled it wrong because I don't know names.
No, you didn't. I don't think you did. Elise smiled. Mirage continued. Nothing seems long to me. Elise, I'm going to probably do that throughout the story. Elise laughed. Don't brag. You could travel to and from the Badlands and not even have a tiara tilted. The perks of poise as part of evolution, Mirage raised an eyebrow. Do you covet it? A shiver ran down Elise's spine. Mirage laughed. You're just too easy, dear. Let me get you a drink and fill my own empty goblet. Mirage raised a hand to the barmaid, who rushed over and immediately grabbed the goblet. A dark brown bandage on her wrist could be seen from the cuff of her long-sleeved dress as she reached for the goblet. For you, miss? For you, miss? She asked Elise, her eyes still cast downward as she held her bandaged wrist. Mead, Elise said. The barmaid breathed, which softened her tense body. That would be the only. I just put in a little edit.
Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to read these with the text on screen this time.
Oops, sorry. Old
No,
habits die
okay.
hard.
I completely forgot about that until just now when I started to tweak it. But I want more of this story, as always, which is going to happen.
Well, and I'm at a loss of like, what's the thing? Because at first I was like, okay, is vampires something that they need to hunt? Then I was like, nah, let me make this person a vampire. But then what if I make Mirage, like, actually she's wanting to, oh, never mind. It just came to me.
So I do have a question, though. How did they
Yes.
know each other since they were girls, but one is...
No, I said since Elise was a little girl.
Oh, okay. Answers
Yeah.
my question. I want an origin story. That is all.
Yeah, and that could happen in flashes easily. But if I expand upon this, it would be the epiphany moment is like maybe Mirage has like known Elise since Elise was a little girl, and of course Mirage never changes. But she for some reason she keeps this person around, and even though they're friendly, Elise is still uneasy at times, and I feel oh, go ahead.
I have an idea around that, and maybe this is what you're thinking because this often happens to us. But what if the reason that Mirage has kept Elise around is because something happened when Elise was a little girl, and she was just like, that one, I would like her to be part of my enclave.
Yeah,
but she's too young, and you can't turn someone when they're very young because they'll be forever a child, and it it's like drinking coffee when you're 12. I'm just kidding.
Did you notice Nia's comment? She's like, not even 12 yet, not helping her case. Oh, by the way, chat completely loved your sassiness and everything. But what? Yes, thank you.
But so she's been keeping an eye on her, and she's basically stayed around and protected her from all of these other like dangers without at least knowing that. She's uneasy just because that's the tendency that vampires have on humans. They just generally make them uneasy.
Yeah, it's being near a predator.
Yeah. And but Mirage has been protecting her this whole time because she wants to wait till she's of age so that she can turn her and be like, come with me.
Yeah.
And that's what this meeting is her basically being like,
I was thinking is maybe Mirage actually is going to use Elise to be like a spy for her to another clan without them knowing that it's really Mirage. That's but where she will end up getting snatched up by this other clan, and they would unfortunately use her as like probably a blood bag.
I have another idea.
Ooh, bring it on.
This I think would be really different, especially for vampire stories.
Mm-hmm.
What if she wants Elise to be her surrogate?
Oh my god, you genius! That would be awesome.
Like she saw her as a little girl and was like,
what if, oh my god, and the reason here's a twist at the very end. The reason Elise is the perfect surrogate is because Elise is like her great niece
Yes.
or something.
Yeah,
so it's
she's
family.
So they'll like actually have blood ties, but they'll also look very much alike.
Yes.
I
I
like this idea.
love it.
I've never seen that in a vampire story. There's always
No.
just some lady out there pining because she's always wanted children, and that's why she resents.
Yeah, now she
being,
can't. And
yeah,
stuff like that.
So she resents.
Okay, I'm writing this. I'm writing some notes here.
I love it.
Elise is.
But that would be really cool because then Mirage doesn't have to resent being a vampire, and Elise doesn't have to be turned.
Yes, and I like the idea of like the end result is Elise is not turned and everything, because it seems like always the goal is turning somebody. Why do we have to turn people?
Mm-hmm. And she also doesn't have to be fed on because that is not her purpose.
Oh my god, I just thought of something. What if actually she's treating Elise like her daughter and everything, and the thing is Elise's whole line is of Mirage raising every single person, and somehow so Elise's mother went through the same thing with Mirage, where she was Mirage's surrogate, and that's Elise's whole line is to be the surrogate. So Mirage is constantly being a mother and everything. Like
what's happened to her other children?
Yeah. And everything. It's either what happened to the other children,
mm-hmm.
And everything. No, here's an idea. Okay, so she's always been the aunt
Mm-hmm.
when the parent is alive and everything. And she just makes sure to take care of them and stuff. And so that way she still gets the feeling of being a parent and stuff. But in Elise's case, either rival clan or another vampire got wind of what was going on and tried to kill Elise, but ended up killing Elise's mother. And so that's why so she wants Elise to be a surrogate, but we have to take out this other vampire, but you got to be slick about it. And so she really reluctantly tries to get gets Elise to be a spy for her, for this other vampire,
Mm-hmm.
To try to take him down so that Mirage can continue this like motherly aunt.
Ooh, so they're taken off guard because they don't expect that to come from Elise. They expect her to be super protected, which she is, but she's also getting the information that's needed to set herself free from this cycle so that she can just continue the pattern with Mirage. But she doesn't know all that. She just knows that she's spying. She doesn't know that the ultimate intention is that she'll be a surrogate.
Oh, yeah. Maybe she doesn't know she's going to be a surrogate. I got to write all these notes down. I'm going to forget. I mean, I know we're recording right now, but let's face it, things happen. Okay, Mirage wants Elise to be a surrogate.
I think it'll also be interesting because Elise already seems like she's uncomfortable with knowing that the barmaid has been fed on.
Yeah. Well, and the way I was imagining, the barmaid like slit her wrist or something and like dripped into the goblet, but not completely. Across the road, not down. There we go.
Yeah.
Because she's still walking around, but okay. So we got Elise is protected by Mirage. Elise's mother killed by rival vampire who learned of lineage and Mirage.
Okay, sorry, one more thing. Maybe the reason the rival clan is so opposed to Mirage's family planning strategy is because Elise's family line, they all become extremely powerful vampires. So maybe the other children are...
That's why they want her line. They want to turn Elise. Mirage doesn't want Elise to turn.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And they're creating that, like, she's
And,
creating her own
and
army.
Elisa's mother didn't die. She was turned and is a powerful vampire in that clan.
Ooh, yes. I'm loving this.
Oh my god, this could be an entire freaking series. Most
Yeah, it is.
powerful.
Why are we both now writing fantasy vampires?
Yeah, Elise line is the most powerful vampire when churned. Now the question is, am I doing like powers or something? Or like maybe they're powerful because they can actually, as it's been said before of the where you can convince people to do things.
What if
their line can convince vampires?
Elise comes from a line of witches, but when witches are turned to vampires, they don't lose all of their powers. It increases them exponentially.
Yeah.
I think I thought I knew them, but it was just the butter that
Out here stirring the pot.
went on there.
Okay, that's fine.
Jason.
Thanks.
Mom.
Okay. What? Yeah, your eggs are right there. All right. Witch vampires. Okay. Killed, we think. Turned. A rival vampire. All right. So they want Elise. And now, so Mirage's goal this entire time is to just to be kind of have this mother set up. What if Mirage... Go ahead.
What if it's Elise's mother who knows about her, who's trying to capture her daughter back to start the cycle of her own, and she wants to use her daughter?
Mm-hmm.
And Mirage, and so they're like kind of fighting over the daughter, and that's why they wouldn't kill Elise.
Oh my god! And here's the thing: Mirage is what if? Hold on. Okay, never mind the long lineage. There's a long lineage of witches. Okay, but Elisa's mother and Mirage were lovers. And then Elise is their daughter, like a surrogate daughter. Like through witch magic or whatever, they were able to have a daughter. And that means because Elise is born of love and magic, she is so powerful.
Oh, yes. Yes,
yeah,
yes,
hold
yes.
on. Elise's, I gotta finish this slide. Elise's mother and Mirage lovers. Elise born... So Elise kind of looks like her, born of love and magic.
Ooh, okay.
And
here's some backstory.
Yeah.
Mirage has been doing this for a long, long time. Maybe with other families, not just Elise's family. But when she meets Elise's mother, they do become lovers, and that starts this pattern. But something happens between them, and they separate, obviously, because now they have two separate clans.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe because Mirage knew that witches can become powerful vampires, but she doesn't want that life for her. Whatever. Elise's mother ends up making a deal with the rival vampire, gets changed, and then and becomes a powerful vampire.
And that's when they separate.
And that's where they disagree, where the other mother, Elise's mother, I mean, they're both Elise's mother, but where the other mother wants Elise to be a vampire when she comes of age. And Mirage is like, hell no.
Ooh, and nobody's really considering what Elise wants.
Yes. Okay. Just Eva was like, I missed the stories while I was away, but I'm back digging whatever story this is.
Also love the other mother from Coraline.
Yeah, I didn't mean to throw that in. I mean, they're both her mother, but it was born of love and magic. Love and magic. Most powerful vampire. Okay. Elise's mother learns witches make powerful vampires. She gets changed by rival vampire. and wants. Same for Elise. Mirage doesn't want vampire life for anyone.
Why doesn't Mirage want anybody else to be vampires? Because
so we can look at this a few different angles. There's supply and demand and everything, of how much it takes. There is,
because I think what I'm struggling with here is Elise's mother, or she's the one who physically carried Elise, but they're both her mothers.
Yeah.
But only one of them could physically carry.
Yeah.
So Elise's mother, who carries her, wants to forcibly change her life and turn her. But Mirage doesn't want that for her.
Okay, maybe this rival vampire who changed, we're gonna have to name Elise's mother. I don't know. We're gonna go with Ethel for now, just because that's so not worth it that we know it will change. So Ethel carries Elise. Elise is born of love and magic and everything, and then a little bit of divide between Elise and Mirage is that Ethel and Mirage is that Ethel learns that witches become like really powerful vampires because it heightens their witch abilities, as well as they're able to almost control other vampires because of that magic. So they so she, always wanting to better herself and kind of make that a character trait and everything, asked Mirage to change her. Mirage is like, says no, we need to find the reason behind that, and stuff. And
I've got the reason.
Oh, what?
Ethel starts trying to take over the household, and she's been like spelling the help and like different people around the castle and like manipulating them and making them do things that they don't want, and like almost like hurting or torturing them.
Yeah, so this evil side. And then when
Mirage finds out about it and is like, this isn't you, like, don't do that. And but Ethel won't stop.
Ethel consumed with power.
And she ends up banishing the love of her life.
And then Ethel finds this other vampire who's just as evil and actually likes to manipulate and control. He changes Ethel, and Ethel wants more power and knows that now Elise, being born of love and magic, would be even more powerful, and wants to change her. And Mirage is like, oh, definitely not our child, not my daughter. To quote Mrs. Weasley, not my daughter, you bitch.
And here's the other thing about that. That doesn't preclude Mirage allowing Elise to make her own choice about her destiny. It doesn't preclude Elise being turned. It just, she wants it to be Elise's choice how she lives her life.
Yeah, because what they want to do, Ethel and Bad Vampire wants to do, is churn Elise and kind of like, they don't think vampires should be in the shadows. It's rule the land and everything. Kind of like Akasha and Queen of the Damned. Like, ruled the land. So that's why Ethel and Bad Vampire are like, no, not them. Like, you could change if you want, but don't go that way, because they want to rule. And so it makes me, but then I can't really do the Elise spy situation unless this all happened while, because that wouldn't work with superhuman whatever, or super vampire awesomeness.
Well,
because I was thinking
that I was be a surrogate, but that she was, but that's how she ended up being born. Is that's what Mirage had always wanted, a progeny, and this is how she decides to do it. Only she ends up falling in love with the surrogate, who was Ethel.
There we go.
and that's what started this whole thing.
Yeah. So we still get the surrogate aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm enjoying this evolution of the story.
I mean, because there's so much like interwoven and everything that's going to work out. But now it's to, I know Ethel's consumed with power, split from Mirage. Mirage finds vampire who wants to take over the world. To take over the world. Cool. And maybe he manipulates Ethel. Oh, here's something.
What if Ethel is manipulating him?
Oh, there we go. So we don't have that everything. Ethel manipulates him. And oh my god, we could have this entire whole thing. Because all right, so he would be a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
And what if he was like churned really young, like 18 or something? Whereas Ethel, she would have been churned in like, we'll say, close to 30 and everything. Because this would be like medieval times a little bit here. Is the way I'm imagining this so far.
She's older. She has a lot more power than he does, and it's easy for her.
But because he's young, he becomes a spy for Ethel to try to date Elise.
Yes. I like that, turning that around.
And
ooh, but hi, Essie Houston. How are you?
Hey, dear.
What if also Mirage finds this out and to protect Elise, kills him, but Elise doesn't know that's what he was up to, and now it like turns her against Mirage, and so she's kind of out there in the world living in this major danger zone, and that's when she's captured by Ethel, and this is how she learns the story.
Yeah, and then so she's captured by Ethel, but Ethel makes it seem like, oh, I saved you, sweetie. It would have, and so it's like, I'm your mother. I carried you. Mirage didn't. Like, and it's this whole. All right, kills guy. All right, Elise doesn't know reason or doesn't listen for the reason. She runs away or something. Mirage thinks she's fine. She'll come back, but she doesn't. All right, Elise doesn't know reason. Ethel captures, saves Elise, and tries to convince her. And maybe Elise is hesitant because she's always been uneasy around vampires, like the whole predator thing. Like it's.
But she doesn't know that Ethel is a vampire because Ethel is so powerful with her magic. And she's like, look, I'm a witch. I will protect you. You're a witch. We're witches. Let's go be witchy together. And, you know, I can keep you safe from yada, yada, yada. This is what she really wants. And then that can bring out the big battle thing where Ethel can't like keep her nature hidden for too long. She starts to become more and more controlling and manipulative. And then Mirage finds out where Elise is and why she hasn't come back, and then she comes to save her daughter.
Yeah. Okay. I'm writing all this down. It's gonna be.
Also,
hey, Natalie, what are you gonna do when you're done with flash fiction? Expand all the flash fictions into the stories that. All right. Elise doesn't know.
So sorry, you're not gonna leave early today.
Yeah, no, I'll be fine. I just got to write these last few points. Elise doesn't know the reason. Ethel saves Elise and tries to shows her. So she's saying, "Look, my witchy magic. Let me teach you." And so she teaches her witchy stuff. And maybe Mirage held off the witchy stuff because she was, one, she's not a witch, but two, she knew that would be like a beacon for vampires.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Shows her how to be a witch. Doesn't know Ethel is also vampire. And then like, okay, so gets stronger. Okay. So it's this whole thing. Mirage never told her she was a witch, like, because it's like lights for mosquitoes or whatever you want to call it, for vampires and a witch. So then what's the thing that where Mirage is able to find him? Because I don't want the, you know, like the cliche of the wedding of like, if there is anyone who objects, and then the person bursts through the doors at the perfect moment because timing is that great. I don't want that. But
what if through the magic that Elise does learn, she's, even though Ethel is like suppressing it and like imprisoning her, she's so powerful she's able to make like a little beacon, or like her blood,
or maybe she does
able
like a meditation thing. Oh, maybe because Mirage is her mother, but their blood is tied a little bit. And that Mirage is also her mother. Mirage feels that pull or something, that connection, the motherly bond connection.
Where Elise like actually realizes what's going on and reaches out through that blood tie to her mother.
Yeah, to Mirage mother. God, I wish I could have a perfect line like they did in what is it called? I think it was in the second. Yeah, it had to be the second. Star-Lord, Groot, what is it? Guardians of the Galaxy. And where the guy says, he may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy. Want something like that.
Quill.
Yeah.
Quill. Yeah.
Yeah. She may have been your mother, but she wasn't your mommy. I don't know. It doesn't flow as well.
You'll find it though.
I'll find it. Okay. Elise gets stronger. Mirage feels the pull bit.
She may have given birth to you, but she didn't love you like a mother.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, where it turns it around and it's like, yeah, we're your mothers. Yeah. Genetically speaking, but she didn't care for you in that way. She didn't care for you the way a mother should.
Mirage.
Sidebar, this is completely unrelated, but I just wanted to share that I got a rice cooker and it's changed my life.
Nice. I'm putting Elise reaches out and lets Mirage know she's alive, okay, some way through the blood tie or something, or even if it's just using her magic, because they always like sunflowers, so she made sure the sunflower in the window bloomed or something. I don't know. But magic sign.
What if Mirage can tell because some of Elise's blood is spilled?
Like, and it's like the scents, and everything, the tendrils. All right.
Like things have gotten so bad. This is when,
and it could be a moment where Elise realizes Ethel's doesn't love her and everything. Like Elise says something like a clapback, and Ethel backhands her, and one of her rings cuts her cheek, and it drops.
So there's that. But also, how does Ethel respond to blood? Because we haven't really gotten into that. We've been
and maybe that's when
Elise finds out that Ethel is not just a witch; she's also a vampire. Like maybe her like fangs come out or something at that point, and she's like, "Excuse me, what?"
Yes, baby.
I also just had like a, like the zombie like jaw clacking kind of thing.
Is that your face here?
No, they're not.
Where like she backhands her, cuts her cheek. There's like blood running down. It drips, and she's like lunges for her, and her like aides or guards or whatever like hold her back because they know she doesn't want to kill her daughter, so they're holding her back, but she's just there like with her jaws like,
yeah,
and Elise is like,
yeah. But that's like kind of shows a lack of control, and I feel like which vampire is supposed to be more powerful.
Yes, but she also has been hiding her vampire nature, so she's
not feeding as much as she should be.
Yeah.
Okay. Elise snaps back. Back and then she mouth. And I can't wait to write this, next year sometime. I kind of finished the flashes first.
So anyway, you're going to be outlining this for Preptober. Say what? I'm just kidding.
Okay, I just love how it started with the surrogate, and now it's like this whole backstory woven thing. Honestly, also, if anyone else, if you write this, just because we put it out there on the internet, I know things get grabbed, but just let me be your beta reader at least, because I wouldn't have put it out there publicly. Hold on, buddy.
Show Jenny.
Yeah, I did show them all that. I showed them the poster back there and the Spider-Man stuff up there. And he got one of those little catch-ball things, which he loves. What the? Oh, wow.
That sounds like there's been some nefarious business afoot. I hope that she was helpful, though, and that they get their comeuppance.
Makes me think. Now I'm just thinking, because we're talking about piss a previous employer, and then it makes me think of the joke of like the previous employer is a bloodsucker. Then it makes me think of the other joke where it's like, what's the difference between a lawyer and a vampire? Well, one's a blood-sucking asshole and the other's a vampire. And like, that's where my mind went in that half a second.
They said I quit, not that they fired me.
Bullshit.
Which impacts your ability to get unemployment.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to have to pay for it.
I hope you have documentation. So, God, I hate people sometimes. Like, why can't people just take ownership for mistakes? Like, that's what that has been the theme that we talked, is like, take ownership if you screw up or do something.
Yeah.
So.
I know this is not funny, but it also makes me think of the nanny when at the beginning she's like, I quit. She's like, wait, no, you fired me. That way I can get unemployment. But I mean, also valuable information. But no, I think that's what I was thinking, though, is what would you use if they're lying?
But the lady was super sweet that I talked to and helped calm me down when anxiety was getting high when recounting my side of the story. Oh, bless her.
Well, I'm glad she was nice, but what kind of proof do they need to prove that you were fired? Like, did they fire you in writing?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how this plays out. Because also, like, I hope it's not a case of he said, she said.
I wonder if you could find like a lawyer to help with this, just to like write a letter or something.
No.
To
you want to put it back on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Spider-Man.
To kind of be like, hey, you lied. Here's the extent of what actions might be taken.
all the more reason to write a memorandum when you're stand up. No, down on the ground.
Oh, they just wanted my side. Nothing happened in writing, which is in my defense.
Oh, nice.
Oh, did you sign a paper when you left? Firing has a signature when it comes to proof.
Sometimes.
It may also depend on the state, too.
Yeah, the state and the company and stuff like that. Like my dad's fired people, but it wasn't. But he had a small business and stuff. And
Spider-Man strong.
yeah, Spider-Man is strong. My son picked up his little balance bike and said, "Spider-Man strong." Now, I was verbally told, "Kat, you're going to have to leave." That's exactly what my manager told me.
So if they didn't officially fire you, then you still work there. The requirements for unemployment may vary by state. That's true.
Yeah, I think maybe there is a lawyer that can help like pro bono or even just consult.
Yeah, usually you can
fully.
get a consultation where they, 30 minutes for free, where they'll at least tell you if you have a case or.
Yeah, and it's not even just a case, but at least know the courses of action, what you can do right now and stuff. But at least the unemployment office is doing what they're supposed to do, which is getting all sides.
Oh, that's good. But it looks like I may actually get my unemployment. I had been waiting since June.
Yeah.
It just makes me really mad that they are like, not only did they like fire you, but now they're trying to pretend that they didn't.
Yeah. Like to me, yeah. There's so many things to hate about it. So,
Well,
I hope
I'm
it gets
sorry
better.
you're dealing with this, but I'm glad that the lady was at least helpful, because that's honestly half the battle, is finding the right person to talk to who can give you good information and actually help.
Yeah, Shannon, I've seen that where it's in Florida, her parents' small business. They don't fire bad workers; they just limit their hours every week until the person quits. There is ways to make it kind of toxic, a little bit. I don't want to say toxic because that's also including, but there's ways to make people quit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, and I quit one of my jobs because of that kind of environment. But I didn't want to go back,
Good
but
job.
I did give my 2-week notice and work the term of my 2-week notice. Mm-hmm. But I also already had 4 other jobs.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't need this. I don't need to be here, and I don't deserve to be treated this way. So take this job, etc. Not saying short-term disability may be an option for you in Michigan as well. Look into it if you haven't. Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And I believe you are allowed back pay if you can show documentation of that it's been going on for months.
Thing is, I was consistently the only person in the department because they couldn't call me to a register. Eva, enjoy your breakfast. Speaking of breakfast, I need to do that. And
yeah, as do I.
Yeah.
Actually, at this point, I might as well just have lunch.
Same for you.
So,
y'all,
thank you.
I really enjoyed this and
I
the
did too.
conversation and the brainstorming. And now I want to read your book series that you're going to read.
Wait, I thought it was just one book. I'm doing a series now?
Oh, yeah, I just kind of assumed.
Okay.
But, Kat, are you still sprinting? No, it looks like Kat came down.
Okay.
I don't see, but let me check one other place. As we know, we can always find some
Haley Creates is doing a 24-hour writing charity stream.
Ooh, that's
Right
a
now.
good option. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put Devin's playlist in.
Okay, I'm gonna put in the chat Haley's Twitch for anyone who wants that.
So I've got Devin's playlist here, and then the Twitch link for Haley's charity stream is below that. So get cracking. There's like 4 different people on Devin's playlist. 3, well, 4 when you count us, but we're about to go offline. But 3 other people who are streaming. So that gives you 4 options. Ooh, and Pro is streaming right now as well. So I may put that on in the background, but I do have to get ready for work. At 10, my video about AuthorTube Secret Santa 2022 will release with a sign up.
Ooh,
And that's
yes. I'm gonna sign up for that.
Oh, that's 10 Central?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in 10 minutes.
Okay, y'all, we are excited. Keep an eye out for that. And I think we're going to call it there. And we'll see you next week on Natalie's channel. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck with your Preptober projects. And we will see y'all next time.
Bye, dears.
Oh, click twice. Click twice.
Yep. I was like, I hope she's